I'm upset. No disrespect, respectfully. But disrespectfully is disrespect. Don't be disrespectful. Those vile, disgusting Spartans. Poor little girl, them. And I'ma tell them why I'm mad. That vile, disgusting cesspool in Columbus. The other state. And of course, as always, I'm upset. Good evening, good people. It is I, the Maze Madman. I am here with my guy,
the Maniac,
and of course, my other guy,
Kinetic.
And we got a special, very special show for you guys today. As you can see, we are welcoming 4 stars. Breck Kolojay, offensive lineman. Breck, say hello.
How y'all doing? Thank you for having me.
No doubt. And also 4-star edge, Jake Kruel. Jake, what's up?
What's up, guys? Thank you guys for having me. I just want to say one thing real quick. It's Krell. Pronounce Krell.
Crow.
Okay.
All right. That's, you know what?
Is it Krell?
That's
Krell.
That's good.
Krell.
Krill. All right. I sound like I'm speaking Mandarin now. I apologize.
It's all good.
I'm going to call you Jake. I'm going to call you Jake tonight.
Can we call you JK?
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever
Let's
you want.
JK. All right. And of course, friend of the show, ProspeX LLC, top guy, in my opinion. Cliff Hill, what's going on, sir?
What's up, man? Thank you for having me back, and thank you for having these guys on.
No doubt, man. Cliff, let's start with you. Obviously, I spoke about this the last time you were here, how I was burning up your DMs last year. You showed extreme patience. I appreciate you for that. But
no, it was all good.
Absolutely. As you said, the last time you were here, your phone was ringing off the hook. You were getting all these messages. What's it like tonight? Is that just par for the course on a nightly basis for Cliff?
No, well, that night was particularly crazy because I got a couple guys that signed out at Colorado, and that was the night it came out that they thought Dion was going to take the Dallas job.
Right.
So I think I got a text from everyone I had ever met in Colorado at some point. But no, tonight is good, and I've got my phone on silent. So, but the guys that are here with me, they're not just 2 of my best guys. They're 2 of the very best in the whole country at what they do. They really are. Between the 2 of them, they have almost 100 offers, and they could easily be over that, but they have all the good offers. So they're just great kids. I've been all over, we just got back from a trip. I've got to spend a lot of time with them. They're great people. I feel very confident in saying they're going to go very far in their careers, and this will be one of their first interviews, but definitely not their last. And these guys will be people that everyone is going to know.
Yeah,
no doubt.
I agree, man. Seeing the film, man, you guys, y'all definitely have a mean streak.
Yeah.
And, that's the way you play football. You gotta be mean out there. But I could see you guys just by your demeanors, I could just already see you guys are respectful kids and going about it the right way. So let's get right to it. JK, let's start with you. Obviously you a defensive end. Why you chose to go to IMG Academy?
Yeah, so to start off, I think I just want to give props to my old school, Bishop Moore. I loved it there. I went there my first 2 years. So I went there my freshman and sophomore year. I had a great 2 seasons there. But I, as a person, like to be uncomfortable, and I like to push myself to be my best persons. So when the opportunity to IMG came, at first I was a little hesitant. I didn't think I wanted to do it because I just was in such a great situation back home. But then I went on the tour, and I saw, dude, these are all kids who are just like me. They want to push themselves. They want to be great, and I'm going to get held to that standard every single day. And I'm going to be in competition every single day, and that's what makes you better when you're going to compete against the best people, because iron sharpens iron. So it was a hard decision, but it was the best decision I ever made, and I'm so happy I decided to come here because I made great friends, great connections, and it has made me such a better football player to be ready for the next level.
No, definitely. And IMG, just kind of walk us through it. To me, it's like a university, for high school. It seems like they have top tier everything. Can you kind of walk us through, everything they have to offer besides football?
If you want it, they have it. That's how it works at IMG. We were started by Nick Bolletary back in the day. It was a tennis academy, but it has grown into so much more than that. From the academic standpoint, the ratio to student is phenomenal. You have so many people to help you out when you need help, and they're there for you. If you want to take really hard classes and push yourself to be in those AP classes and try to be in an Ivy League school, they have that. And if you're struggling and you need help with tutoring, they have that as well. So when going to IMG, you're going to have the treatment, you're going to have the coaching, you're going to have the competition, and you're going to have the academics to be developed to be the person you want to be. IMG has all the resources, so it's a great school, and it's a great place because it's a business opportunity, and you get to grow so much as a person by going there.
Beautiful.
I would add in too, real quick. There's a man there, and everybody in college football knows him. His name's Don Zalotti.
Yep.
And Don runs that program as good as any program is ran in the entire country. And I just want to bring his name up because he is a big factor in why that place runs so well.
And I mean, Michigan's been a pretty big beneficiary of his work at IMG. We've got a pretty deep pipeline with IMG here lately. It seems like from here in Michigan. Brock, I just want to give you a compliment real quick. Getting ready to come on here with you guys and watching your guys film. I was raving about you in one of the group chats that we have. Watching you play, it's like watching an attack dog let off the leash. When the ball snaps, it's like you just go, you got your guy, and you're on him until the whistle. And I love seeing that type of play, man. I just want to give you props on that.
Oh yeah, definitely appreciate that. Like, and that just like starts with practice. Like, honestly, like how we practice is different. And I will say that like nobody practices like us unless you're in like college or the NFL. Like, we have guys all over the place. So it's not just you're the man. It's like there's D linemen there too. There's linebackers that are really good too. Everyone's good. So, I think like Jake knows it, like a lot of like, especially me being at IMG for 2.5 years, like I practice different, I really want it. Like, I want to be a leader of the O-line because the O-line at the end of the day, like the trenches is where games are won. So I want to be that deciding factor in the games.
Yeah. And Breck, real quick before, I know your favorite breakfast meal got to be pancakes because that's what you give out on that field. You hand out a lot of them pancakes, man. You definitely have a mean streak, both for you guys. And Michigan has a nice pipeline of IMG. I'm just saying.
Well, but and on top of that, I mean, you guys, like you were saying, you play in the trenches. We love that kind of play here. We love that big physical play. I've been enjoying watching your guys film all day today. So how much of that, like with what you've seen from Michigan with that style of play, how does that appeal to you guys playing on the offense and defensive line compared to some of the other the other teams and schools that you see where they don't really emphasize the trench play as much? Like, how much of a factor does that play in for you guys?
I mean, it plays a huge factor. Like I got to go watch the USC game, and the way they ran that ball in the game was different. I know the quarterback circumstances were different this year, but just seeing like how they line up in like 22 personnel, have two tight ends out there, how they utilize a fullback, the way the style of the offense they like is like, it makes me happy. Like I think any offensive lineman would like that. And obviously with getting Bryce there, they're going to start passing the ball way more. So, I'm definitely looking forward to watching that this season and, just seeing how they develop as an offense despite all the coaching changes that happen.
No doubt. I have a question for both of you guys. Let's start with you, Breck. You come all the way from Colorado to IMG, right? How is it that? Let me ask you this first. Before you go to IMG, were you aware of them? Was that something that was already on your radar, or did you become aware after they retch out?
I mean, definitely. Like I've been watching Michigan football for a long time since like I wasn't a huge college football person, or I watched more of the NFL. But in 8th grade, when I was like, oh wow, like I'm really gonna do this in college. I started watching college football more and more, and I'm obsessed with it. So being a guy from Colorado, there's a I don't know if you know him, Drake Nugent. He was a center last year.
Yeah.
Of course.
He lives 3 minutes away from me. He went to Highlands Ranch High School, where I'm from. That was supposed to be my feeder high school, but I went to Valor Christian. But and also my trainer, Coach Matt McChesney. He's had a lot of guys go through the program that go to Michigan, and I feel like I knew Drake Nugent for a while when he was at Stanford, and seeing him this past season win a national championship was really special, especially for us Colorado guys. Kind of putting us more on the map. So that's pretty cool.
Absolutely. And for you, Jake, we spoke backstage before we came on. You said that you are originally from about 2 hours away from IMG. You obviously had a sense of their existence, right? But and I guess you kind of answered why you went there, but what even is kind of the motivation while you're there, right? To keep getting better. And the people in front of you, were they able to push you as well?
Yeah. At IMG, they don't give you the opportunity to slack behind, because if you start doing that, you're going to get picked up to the standard or you're going to get left behind, right? Because every single day, whether it's I'm pushing someone or someone's pushing me to be my best self, that's what we want at IMG, and that's how we hold ourselves accountable every single day. So, I mean, when you're not at IMG as a Florida kid, IMG is this school that's like profound. They're held on a standard. They're held on this pedestal that everyone looks at like they don't realize it's a real school. Which for me, it's a real thing. I'm in my dorm right now. I'm in this school, and you can't take that for granted. You have to take advantage of the land you're on, right? So I'm on this awesome campus with these awesome people, and every single day, whether I feel like it or not, I need to take advantage of it. I need to push myself to that standard that I've been talking about a lot.
And Jake, I want to ask you this kind of the same question that I asked Breck earlier. With watching Michigan's defensive line and Wink Martindale's system, how they utilize the pass rushers with Josiah Stewart and Mason Graham being so dominant, like how did that appeal to you? Like, what about that type of defense do you see that stands out?
I think the number one thing that stands out to me is that they're not as afraid to be versatile. When I went there on my first visit in the summer, they're like, hey, this is where we see you, and this is how many positions we could see you playing. And it was a vast amount. It was so various that as an offensive coordinator, it's hard to scheme against that. And then they're not afraid to get you in that one-on-one matchup with the guy who's having a bad day. And when you have players like Mason Graham in the middle, it makes my job so much more easier because it makes it harder for the quarterback to step up. They can't slide a double protect me because you have to stop the guy in the middle because that's the closest way to the quarterback. So having those dogs in the middle gives me the opportunity to be set up for my one-on-one matchup. And I want that one-on-one matchup every single time because it's the biggest mismatch in all of sports. I'm a fast guy. I'm 225 pounds versus a guy that's 330 pounds. It's a lot harder for him to move with me than it is for me to move with him. And he's going backwards. So when I get that one-on-one matchup, I take advantage of it every single time. And that's what something like a defensive coordinator like Coach Martindale's not afraid to do.
That's a fact.
And so let me ask this. I know, Breck, you're a guard, correct? You play
Yes,
guard.
sir.
So, and I know Jake, he's a DE. But have you guys went up against each other in
All the
practice
time.
many times?
All the time.
All right,
All
so
the time.
let's be who's winning in the matchups?
It's
Yeah,
good.
I'm going to say 50-50.
We'll get into
Nah.
it.
How about this? How about this? On that question, can we get each of you to sort of can you give us the biggest thing about the other guy that makes them hard to go up against?
That's perfect.
I mean, shoot. So, like in practice, like I can play all 5 positions. Like just having that versatility is good. So, like in practice, I get tackle reps too. I get center reps. So even though it says I'm a guard, I could really play all 5. So, one thing about Jake that I really like is, man, like he has a high motor. He's not gonna like after one move's gone, like he's gonna do many multiple counter moves and try to get to the quarterback, and he plays with a good pursuit and effort, I would say.
going off of that, going to Breck, I think what makes him so good is his patience, right? Not a lot of offensive linemen are punchers anymore. They're kind of scared to punch because they're taught this, the grab technique. I'm going to try to grab the outside pads of the shoulders. Breck doesn't do that. Breck is patient. He waits for you to get in that strike zone. When you're in that strike zone, he hits you. He makes you feel it. And not a lot of offensive linemen are doing that nowadays, and that's what makes him different. That's what makes him special is that he knows how to wait, but once you get in that timing for him to hit you, he's going to get you.
Absolutely.
Man.
Question for Cliff. How did you recognize both of these guys as, potential clients, number one, and guys that you wanted to work with?
So I really only work with the guys that are good people to begin with, and not because they're sitting here. These are two of the best guys you'll ever come across. Right. And I mean, if you watch their film, it is easy to see that. I mean, they're rated at the very top of their positions. Right. So it was an easy choice, and so I go on visits, and sometimes we'll take 8 or 10 or 15 kids, and so I can't have kids that don't get it and understand it, and that's what I'm looking for, and the very best as well. But like these guys, like they are elite, and part of it takes everything to be elite. Like you don't have to tell them in the morning to get up and do their workouts. I was going to take them Friday on a visit. They're going to get to skip school all day, miss everything. They wanted to stay and get their workout in before we went on the visit. So, like, it's a total package, and I love working with people that are driven the way they are, and they know football. They're not, so they're big, powerful, hardworking people that totally understand the game. Like one of my very favorite things to do on a visit is when these guys get up on a whiteboard and draw out what they're doing and blow coaches' minds. Like when they show up, they are ready to go. They're plug and play. They're ready.
That's awesome. Before we get to Kinetic or Maniac, I just want to get this question. My guy Keegan, who's been waiting for a while, he said, ask them if they've been to Grand Buffet. Apparently, that's a Chinese buffet in Bradenton. You guys familiar with that place?
We went there after our spring ball last year.
Yeah. Nice.
But yeah, I mean, it was all right. I didn't want to eat too much because like food poisoning and stuff like that.
Right.
Breck, I've never heard you say something like that.
Hey, Cliff, if you saw the seafood, you would say the same thing. I was like,
all right, man. Got it.
Got another question here from West Quad. Let me find it again. He was asking, does IMG still have the national team, the one that plays interstate schools?
Yeah, Jake, elaborate on that. You're good with this stuff.
So we have the national team and then the white and the blue team. So there's 3 teams. There used to be 4. So the national team is the team with the guys like me, Breck, all the top 4 and 5-star recruits, or just elite talented kids that play all around the country against the top competition to chase that national championship. Then the white and the blue teams are the regional state teams, which is just like a normal high school. Basically, they play for a state championship. They play just guys and teams in the area. So that's more of your normal high school look for a football team.
So speaking of which, the season, how did you guys' season go this year?
I mean, to be honest with you, we didn't live up to the standard this year. We lost 2 games, which to me is absolutely unacceptable. And it's, the things we lost by are just little things, It's either like a, missed assignment or miscommunication, So I'm not going to harp on that for too much because it's in the past and we got to move on. But, I'm really looking forward to this upcoming season with me and Jake. We're going to be captains. We're going to lead this team to a national championship because I've been here for 2.5 years and I'm not leaving without a national championship. Mm-hmm. And, it starts this January. It started right after the season ended. We have to lead these guys to a national championship. And for the people who don't get it, they're going to understand it because there's a standard here. And if you don't play up to the standard, then you're not going to play. So we need everyone to understand it.
Yeah. So that was going to lead me to my next question, Breck and Jake. Like you said, The season started right when the season ended. So right now, what is it that you guys are doing to prepare for next season? You know, you guys working out? Are you getting the team together? Like, listen, gentlemen, you know, we winning it all next season. How it is right now during the off season? What's the regimen like?
So for us, I think exactly the season started when the season ended, and the number one thing we're instating right now when we're going to our lifts, our speed training, our individual drills is that we're instating a mental, hard-nosed, tough-ass team that is chasing greatness every single day because we had a taste of what we could be. Last year, we all knew what we could be. We all knew what we were supposed to be, but we beat ourselves every single time. We beat ourselves twice that time last year, and we know how close we were. So that makes us want to strive so much harder every single day we're at our lifts to have our culture right, be training hard every single day, hold each other accountable, be held to the standard, bring each other up every single day, and that's what we're focusing on. Because I know right now we did lose our head coach, so we don't have a head coach right now. But you don't wait for a head coach to get your team together. No, we're a team right now. We don't need a head coach to be a team. So as a team, we're gonna do what we can do to be better right now, and then we're gonna get ready for that fall next season. That we're preparing now for the fall.
And I want to say something too. We're gonna be a player-led team. You know, coaches can only do so much. It's on us, and it really is. You know, like Michigan says, team over me. You know, it's all about us. It's about us. It's not about individual. We're a team, and we gotta work our tails off, and that starts with the little things: wearing the right thing to lift, showing up early, 10 minutes early. Early is on time. And, you know, just having more bonding dinners. Like, we didn't get the opportunity as an offensive line last year to bond as much as we were trying to. So we're gonna make that happen this spring and throughout fall camp. We're gonna start having bonding dinners, not just as an O line, but also as like a trench group. So like O line and D line together.
Nice.
So I know earlier Maniac mentioned how IMG is run a lot in a similar fashion to a lot of universities. Something that we hear all the time is with Michigan is the ability to reach out, have support, to be able to draw from the experience of a lot of the guys that have been there before. Do you guys have anything like that at IMG? Do you have any contact interaction with like the amazing players that have come through IMG before, been through the system? Do you guys have any interaction from those guys that have come before you?
Yeah, 100%, 1,000%. You know, all the guys. When I came here, I was going into my sophomore year, so I played my freshman spring here. And, you know, there's a lot of guys that, you know, Jake has never met, but, like, he knows because of just all the connections we have at IMG. So I really spent a lot of time talking to guys like Jordan Seaton, Najee Harris, Cash Cleveland, a couple Francis Mauigoa, a couple of the Tyler Booker, J.C. Latham, those guys, like a couple of these elite offensive linemen that been through the program. You know, you really get a better idea on what college is like and, you know, what they did before you, because like at IMG, you want to leave a legacy here. You know, you want to talk like we still talk about what guys who are in college, what they've done when they were at IMG, guys like Tyler Booker, people like that. So, yeah, that I'm definitely staying in contact with those guys a lot.
No doubt. We got a 3M, a new thing here. In fact, you guys will be the first for this segment. 3M Mailbox. So I allow people to send questions in basically all week to ask you guys. And Ohio Felon State says for BK, if you could, what offensive lineman would you like to be your coach or mentor, past or current?
Ooh, that's a good one. Honestly, this is a good question because, you know, some people can't really coach. Like, I know people that could play football,
Right.
but they can't really coach. But I would have to say, rest his soul, Larry Allen. You know, one of the best offensive linemen to do it. So just getting knowledge on what he did when he was a player, and, you know, I feel like he was a very like strong, big guy. Like just getting intel from him, and that would be pretty cool to have as a coach. So.
No doubt. And for JK, what is the best single game defensive performance you've had?
So it's kind of hard statistically, I guess, to say which one was the best because I've had some very similar, like 3-sack games. But I would say my best performance ever was my freshman year. Because my freshman year at Bishop Moore, I wasn't a direct starter. I was more of a third down specialist type of guy. But I go in nickel package, so they send me in there, and I'm a freshman, and I go in, bam, back-to-back sacks, right back-to-back. And this is the playoffs too. So the freshman who no one's watching film on, no one's looking at, just goes in there and kills it, sacks the D1 quarterback, which I think was going to Iowa twice, sack him, and then I ended up getting another sack in that game. So I ended up having 3 sacks in the playoffs as a freshman, got to be in a write-up and everything, and that was so cool to me. So I would say that's probably my best performance or favorite performance that I've had.
That's pretty awesome, actually, getting the sack in Iowa would-be quarterback. So shout out to that. This one's for both of you, and it comes from Prosky the People or Prosky the People. He says, this team is a family. Speaking of Michigan, and by the way, you guys I know aren't committed to Michigan, but if that were to happen, which no one here is against, might I add, this team is a family. Could you put yourself aside for everyone else? And I think you guys kind of answered this earlier, but go ahead.
I mean, I do that for my teammates now, so I don't really know because I don't go to Michigan obviously, but I'm getting recruited really hard by them, so kind of have an idea. But yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah,
no doubt about that.
It sounds like he's mainly asking like how you guys feel about like that team over me concept, that idea.
Yeah, I really like that. I think like one person can't win a game. It's like for example, like Lamar Jackson. They had a tough game. Mark Andrews, dropped the ball that he usually catches 99.9% of the time. Lamar Jackson put online like, it's all right, bro. We got you. Like this is a team effort. So stuff like that.
No, and that's important that you guys embody that, right? Because of course we know football is a team sport. It's 11 men on the field, offense, defense. So you just can't hold one man accountable. It's a team that, and I could already hear that just from, the 20 minutes, 30 minutes you guys been on, and regardless which school you guys pick, I already know y'all gonna get busy for sure. And not only going to get busy, but, you guys are going to be leaders, man. And that's important, man. Leaders is important. So, make sure y'all keep that mentality. I can see you guys are very humble kids, man. And that's another thing, man. Stay humble at all costs. Because, life could humble you, right? But I know you guys don't have that issue. And also, how important Cliff has been for both of you guys during this whole process.
I mean, yeah, Cliff we call him the man, Cliff gets it done. I'm very blessed to be able to work with Cliff. So it's going to be a fun next couple months, next 8 months, deciding where I'm going to go to college, but it's going to be a fun process and I'm looking forward to it with Cliff.
Cliff's the man. Just to keep it plain and simple. Cliff's the man. He's going to keep me straight, and he's going to help me out whatever I need with throughout this process, and he's going to advise me through the whole thing and make sure I make the best decisions for myself. So Cliff's the man.
Well, look, and with guys like these guys, it really is easy because a lot of people play football, but few people live football, and these guys live it. Like, that's what they do every day, all day long, and they're trying to get better all the time. So it makes it a lot easier.
Absolutely. One of the things too I want to talk about, because even though this is a Michigan channel, you guys are obviously being recruited by other teams. As Cliff pointed out, nearly 100 offers between the two of you. On some of the visits that you've been on, what are some of the the favorite thing, your favorite memories from those visits? And I'm not asking you to go in depth about like what the coach said or anything like that, because we're not trying to steal secrets or anything like that. Shout out to Powder Stallions. But what is it that you guys enjoyed most about just going on visits, period?
Yeah, it's really cool. I've gotten to go to some primetime games this year. I went to Tennessee versus Alabama, Georgia versus Tennessee, a couple games like that. So I feel like a cool part of the process is like seeing these primetime games and getting to share it with like your family or friends. But yeah, as this process goes on, I always stay humble through it because you have to. But I really love displaying my knowledge to these coaches, and they love it. It's been speeding up a lot recently since it's the contact period and everyone's coming. But yeah.
Absolutely. Same question for you, Jake.
For me, the best part about these visits is getting to sit down in the position room with your position coach and talking football to them, right? Because that's the difference maker a lot of the time, because you're building this relationship with the coach, but how much can you develop me is the question. Like, how much do we connect as a mentor to a student, right? Like, do we connect well? Because sometimes you could be a great coach, but maybe my learning style just doesn't connect to your learning style. So learning so much from all these position meetings is probably my favorite thing when it comes to these visits, because that's really the difference maker and the decider when it really comes down to it. How well do you connect with your coach, and do you see yourself being with him for the next 3 to 5 years?
No doubt.
I agree with Jake. I would like to mention that too. Same thing.
So speaking on that, and again, all respect to wherever you guys decide to go. With us being Michigan, a lot of our questions are Michigan centric, but we want to make sure that we're supportive no matter where you guys choose. But to put this question with a Michigan bend to it, as far as position coaches go, when you guys have visited Michigan, talked to the coaches, been recruited, what kind of stands out to you guys with the position coaches here, and with the on the defensive side, Lou Esposito, Wink Martindale. Offensive side, you got Greg Newsome, Sharon Moore, even having an offensive line background. What do you guys? What stood out to you guys from Michigan with those position coaches, and in particular?
Jake, go ahead.
I think the biggest thing that stood out was probably Josiah Stewart, right? If you look on pen and paper, he's an undersized edge rusher. That's a fact. But he's productive, and you can't take that away from him. No matter what you want to say, oh, he's undersized. Oh, how he's going to perform at the next level. He was productive, and he produced it. He had one of the highest PFF grades, which speaks a lot. It speaks volumes. And that was the most important. That was probably the biggest thing that stuck out to me when it was time to look at, all right, what are these coaches doing? What have they done? And what are they going to do in the future?
Yeah, like going off that question, like just Coach Newsome and Coach Moore, like Coach Moore being an former offensive line coach, now head coach, having played the position, I really respect their program and everything they do, and me and Coach Newsome and all those guys get along very well, and they're gonna play a huge factor in my recruitment, honestly. So, also they hired Coach Castillo from UCLA, who is a NFL coach for over like 25 years or something. So they have a great staff, and I know that Michigan could be a place that could develop me.
Yeah, nice. So, Breck, I heard earlier, right, when they mentioned the buffet question, and Cliff was like, "Man, you turning down food." So, being a lineman, is it kind of open, just open game when it comes to your diet, or you still kind of have a strict diet? The same thing for you, Jake. How's your guys' diet?
At IMG, I try to eat lots of whole foods, so lots of chicken, beef, rice. Me and Jake go to Chipotle all the time, so I really like that. Chipotle. But yeah, like when I'm back home in Colorado, I eat as much steak as possible, steak and eggs, and all that good stuff. So I still keep a pretty balanced diet, but I eat a lot of high protein stuff. But when I'm on trips, hey, I'm just gonna eat whatever makes me full and whatever tastes good. So.
No doubt.
Yeah, for me, I love steak. Me and Breck are the two biggest red meat lovers you will ever see. So if anyone wants to send us steak, we will take it and we will cook it. But when I'm here, I try to eat a lot of whole foods, and I try to keep it simple, eat the right stuff, get the right amount of protein in, get the right amount of colored foods in, get the right amount of carbs in. But again, when we're traveling, it gets hard sometimes when we're on the road. Like, it's hard to eat healthy because whole foods aren't always the best option when you're staying at a hotel. So don't always stay clean. I'm human, but for the most part, I'm going to try to get whole foods in. I'm going to try to eat healthy, and I'm going to try to eat a lot of steak.
Okay.
Yep.
No doubt.
So what they're not telling you, they have a new cooking show.
Yeah.
That they came up with. And we need to plug that because I've watched it and I can't wait for episode number 2. So
Absolutely.
Gentlemen, let us know, man, so we can kind of broadcast that here, man.
Anybody?
You guys, so no Chick-fil-A, no Domino's Pizza, no Papa John's.
Yeah. Hey, if anyone wants to send us some steaks to cook,
there we go.
Follow me on social media.
I go ahead. Hey, we got some free food yesterday for an event, so I had like 4 chicken sandwiches yesterday.
No doubt. Anybody who follows me on Instagram, I shared their cooking contest. It was a steak cooking contest. Very funny, by the way. Go check it out when you get a chance. I gotta admit, Breck, I was on your side. Looked like your steak was definitely better than that the cow that was still moving on Jake's plate. But shout out to that. Shout out to Lich Max. He sent a $5 super chat. He says, "Do any of y'all play football video games in your downtime? And if so, do the games play any part in your mental training for games?"
I play NCAA all the time. NCAA, but no, I just play for fun. It doesn't really mental train me, but that would be cool if in the future they could have that. But no, I just play for fun.
I don't play at all. I don't play any NCAA or Madden at all, which is kind of surprising being a football player, but I just don't play any NCAA or Madden.
Is that what do you think that would change once you're in the game?
Maybe.
Go look at your ratings at least.
Yeah, it depends what my overall is. If my overall is good, I could turn on the game. But if my overall is bad, it might make me a little bit even more mad.
Absolutely, Cliff. We're gonna give you a second here, and then we're gonna get you guys out of here. I know these guys got study and all of this thing, and I'm sure your phone is going crazy. But let us know, what you got planned coming up for these guys. What trips are we taking? What's going on?
We have quite a few trips coming up. This weekend we're hitting Florida and Florida State, and then in March we've got multiple trips per week. One of them we are coming up to Michigan, so I'm going to bring about 8 or 10 guys up there, and they're already all offered, so that'll be a good trip.
Nice.
And then it'll go into OVs. And then after that, we'll go into the game trip. So we have a very, very busy 8 months coming up in front of us. And on top of that, so these guys do a very good job of documenting these trips they're on. And so if people want to see what it is like to get to go on these trips and experience some of this behind the scenes that they've never gotten to see before, I would tell you to follow these 2 guys, because they're very good about putting it up there. And if they would I would like for them to share their social media handles so that people can follow them.
For sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm a content creator. I make content on Instagram and TikTok. So if y'all want to follow me, you can just search up my name, JakeKruel. It should show up, and y'all can see one of my Michigan videos on there. It's actually one of my biggest videos I've ever made. So you can see what it's like to visit Michigan.
My Instagram, most of my stuff is Breck.Kolojay, Breck.Kolojay. So on TikTok, it's Breck.K. So that's most of my socials right there. Shoot me a follow, and I'm definitely gonna up the content, start posting more, so that's gonna be fun.
Absolutely, man. Be sure to follow these guys. Everybody in the chat, you heard it. You can search Jake. Can you say your last name again, Jake?
All right, so Kruel. So think of smell, but Kruel.
Yeah. Absolutely, I can do that. Jake Kruel. Because we were definitely calling you Kruel. We had.
I got it. You guys were the ones
Kruel. And we didn't give you that question because that's not your name. So it's Jake Kruel. Be sure to look him up on social media, and of course Breck Kolojay. Check both of those guys out, and stay out of Cliff's DMs because I am in those.
Don't be like Madman.
Absolutely, Breck. We appreciate you, Jake. We appreciate you, Cliff. Always a pleasure to have you on. Can't wait to have you again.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. This was awesome. You guys have a great night.
No, thank you, guys.
Go Blue.
Go Blue. Oh man, that's awesome, man. Breck Kolojay Jake Kruel.
Crab. Yeah.
Krell,
Like
absolutely.
smell,
Like
crab.
smell. Krell,
Hey, that's a good way to put it.
absolutely.
No, but no,
Great guys, man.
yeah, shout to them, man. Good kids again, right?
Yeah.
It just seems like every kid we get on here, man, that's in the recruiting process, you just could see the maturity in these guys, man. And me,
Especially
right?
the Clips guys too.
If I'm
Right.
a coach, right, that plays a factor, right? I need maturity. I don't need no nonsense kind of guys. I need guys that I'm going to get in their face and tell them you're not doing your job. They're not going to, I'm a 5-star. I don't give a what you are. Right?
Right.
I mean, we want Michigan men that are here to play football,
Correct.
not here.
And I'm just talking about in general.
Yeah.
Right. No matter where they go, you gotta life ain't sweet, bro. It ain't a sweet life out here. If you soft in life, it doesn't bode well for you in life. You're not saying you gotta be a gangster or a tough guy, but you get what I'm saying. You gotta have thick skin. And the same thing in football. Anybody who's put the pads on understand that your coach gonna get on you. And if you're going to cry, then don't take the pads off and go home. So I know these guys ain't going to have no problem being criticized or, the coach is saying anything.
This guy clearly wants some attention. So let's give it to him. Shout out to Netprix Christian.
All Michigan fans are
who still takes pictures of himself in the mirror
and suffer delusion.
Shout out to that. Now Netprix, one of my mods will block you. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank
he's
you.
A calm. Listen, see, and shout to the good OSU fans that come in here because they not all the same. Mello come in here. Right, we have a bunch that are respectful.
Good job.
That's corny. We welcome OSU fans, no problem. But that's stupid. Like you being a cornball. You're bummed because you wouldn't say that in real life, you punk. Taking selfies like
again, and I am against blocking people. However, that was the name calling. We're not doing that, especially here, especially against Michigan fans. What are you?
Here's the thing. We welcome people from all fan bases, including OSU. If you're going to come on here and have an actual conversation, a debate, you want to actually make points and hear it back and forth. But if you're just coming on here to troll, to be ignorant, we're not going to have time for that. We got other stuff that we need to cover, other people that we want to give a platform to and talk to with the time that we've got on here. So don't come at us with stupidity, man. Come with respect, and we'll give you respect back.
Absolutely.
And I'm dead. I want his family dead. I want his house burnt to the ground. I want to go to the middle of the night. I want to piss on his ass.
Yeah, and and especially when we just had we had some good kid. Like it's just corny, man. It's no room for that. Bottom line, like Connecticut,
you know what though?
Broke it down perfectly.
You know what though? When we got guys on like Jake and Breck just now, let all those OSU fans in the chat, because let them see the ignorance of the OSU fans and how they act on social media.
Good call. Good call.
Yeah.
I like it.
But speaking of, real quick, I just want to speak about Jake too, because I mentioned earlier what I thought about Breck. I didn't get to tell Jake.
Yeah.
And I said this to you guys in the chat. Watching his tape, it was so unique. I watched a lot of pass rushers, edge rushers, because that's what I played in high school. Obviously, not at the level that these guys do, but watching him, a lot of times you see with defensive linemen when they rush the passers, it's all about their hand placement, their upper body, and overpowering. That battle hand to hand with the offensive lineman. Jake, if you watch his tape, by the time he has that contact with the offensive lineman, he's already won the battle. It's his footwork, his body, like the way he moves his body. He's able to get the offensive lineman off balance and out of position before he's even there to make contact with them. So by the time he makes it, he's already won that battle and he's shooting by him. It's incredible to watch him. Anybody that hasn't watched either of these guys tape, go do it, because it's very impressive to watch Breck and Jake. And I think they're going to be fun to watch no matter where they choose to go in college.
Correct.
That's a fact. Shout out to you. Are you from Baltimore? That's shout out to him. He says, "Love the stream, Triple M, Triple M crew. I know Trump got rid of DEI, but the boy got here off of merit-based system. Shout out to that. Although we still believe in DEI, that's why Kinetic's here.
That's why I'm here. That's why I was brought on.
Shout out
100% to get around any potential accusations or regulations.
1,000%. Shout out my
man.
guy Dexter Green, who is a member. You should become a member if you haven't already. What's up, y'all? Been here the entire time, just busy. Good interview. Marmarsky, Yak 3, kinetically correct. Kinetically correct. I like that.
Hey, I do like that. Hey,
he gave you some flavor, baby.
Yeah.
He put some seasoning.
Yeah,
Man,
that.
put a little sazon on that thing, man. That's
Dexter,
fire.
I see you. I
All
see
right.
you, champ. Yeah, man.
I like that.
DG with the coming through in the clutch, man. That's nice.
No, definitely.
We're calling you kinetically correct from now on, man.
Yo, that's you know the people in the chat. We got flavor, man.
If you ain't got a nickname, honestly, then people don't like you. So
he said, "I've been calling him that."
Well, and it's funny because I don't remember who it was. Somebody asked me about that before, like when I first started coming on here, and I said, "Hey, if I'm not gonna come up with some new nickname, like that's something that you earn, that someone gives you. It's not something you choose."
Right.
So, hey,
Right.
I love that stuff. Let it come like that organically, and I love that kind of stuff. It's cool.
That's a fact. I didn't start calling myself 3M or M3. Those are just the people said that, right? Maniac, he's a maniac, so they call him that.
Or Yak, which I still
Yak,
don't know what
that's
that
a
means.
fact. Nah, that's like a New. It should be like York. You know what I mean? York.
But it's all love, man.
Absolutely.
I see. What's the move with Jake Kruel? I'm hoping he's on the stream. Yeah, man.
So he's not. He's and by the way, that's Jamar Browder with a B. We are live with him on Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday. What was the time? I gave y'all the time.
We got to look at it. I
think it's like
Browder. You mean Jamar Browder?
Jamar Browder, that's who he's talking about. He is with us on Sunday, 2:00, I believe, is the time. That one should be fireworks. I love his social media. I love everything about him.
Yeah, that's another one. Go watch his tape, man.
Absolutely.
Every time a ball is in his vicinity, he's got
totally underrated.
And listen, don't be surprised, man, that he sees a lot of playing time this season.
Yeah,
he can move up the board. He could definitely move up, but we'll see.
What?
I am the Sammy.
I listen. I don't know about you guys, but I get this reference. Okay, it's wrestling and Marvel. I get it.
Okay,
Sammy Happy Hogan's. All right, is Happy Hogan's like a bar?
Happy. Have any of y'all ever watched the Iron Man movies?
The great Marnowski.
The Happy Hogan was Iron Man's driver, or his security guy.
I see.
Yeah, Sami Zayn. That'll take longer to explain, but yeah, good one.
Shout out to Dexter Green. Thank you for the $5 super chat. He says that's why I was upset when DG arrogant ass went off on my guy kinetically correct, because he's never negative. There you go, man.
Hey, I will say this. Listen, I didn't take it.
Don't blow up Kinetic's head too much either. All right.
No, I didn't get upset about the stuff with DG. I understood why. I thought it was a little off base that he said what he said, but afterwards, I've had other interactions with him one-on-one, and he's been really cool with me. So don't send any hate DG's way. We're cool.
That's a fact. Yeah, man. So look, let's talk about the elephant in the room. We got a few minutes, right?
Yeah.
And if Naprix would have just had held his tongue for a second, he could have enjoyed this part. But anyway, Michigan, ladies and gentlemen, not going down without a fight apparently with the NCAA, who are trying to serve them what I believe 6 level 1 violations for the sign stealing system that they had going on with Connor Stallions. Let's get your thoughts on this, Kinetic. We haven't had a chance to talk to you about it. Let's start with you. Thoughts on the allegations, thoughts on Michigan's, digging their heels in the sand. What's going on?
So, I mean, a lot of my opinion on this is going to echo if anybody is pays attention to Isaiah Hole over on Locked On Wolverines. Everyone's making a big deal about this, but if you really read it and read the write up and the article and the reports that are coming out, it's nothing we didn't already know. A lot of it, like there's nothing in there that says that we did anything that we didn't already know that happened, and it's not like there's any kind of big breakthroughs. It's just people starting up all the hammer talk. I mean, it's like the stuff that Michigan's fighting. Like for example, they have it in there when he was going to have somebody go scout out Georgia.
Right.
Well, they were a potential opponent, but they weren't on Michigan's schedule. That's legal. Jim Harbaugh, to quote Isaiah Hole, Jim Harbaugh could have shown up to watch that Georgia game, and it wouldn't have been against any rules. Like, and they're trying to use that against us in the allegations. Like, that's why Michigan's fighting it. It's a lot of trumped up stuff that shouldn't be there, and they're taking it to court. It's good. Well, it'll go to court. All the stuff that the NCAA doesn't want to come out about, it's going to come out, like who their sources are, which with what Isaiah Hole's saying and what I've heard from other people, when that comes out, it's going to look really bad for the NCAA. So like, I'm not even paying attention to it, man. It's just a lot of talk. It's a lot of chatter. It doesn't really mean anything because it's nothing new.
Yeah. And you're right, Kinetic, just to kind of piggyback on what you said. We've been going on this for over a year and a couple of months already. Every time there's some kind of lead, it just, the OSU fans come out in full force. I mean, all their websites is just, it's over for scum. This is it. They don't understand what's coming. And look, shout to my man Mello. As everyone know, he's an OSU fan, but he has a chat, me, him, and Madman, and we were going back and forth yesterday regarding it. I'm like, listen, first of all, I said you getting your information from Buckeye Scoop, like that. You lost merit there, right? From a rival fan.
Hold on. Who was he getting it from?
Buckeye Scoop.
Buckeye Scoop.
Buckeye Scoop. Right. So that's already you. And I've always said, I always mentioned this, right? Look, I don't, me personally, regardless, I don't think nothing is getting vacated. I just think they trying to really trying to get at Sharon Moore. I think they really trying to suspend them like 4 or 5 games. And they like, nah, you bugging. You ain't doing that. And I think they trying to do some bowl bans or postseason bans. They're like, nah, you ain't taking that from us. So I think that's more what it is. I don't really think they don't have anything regarding any sufficient evidence to vacate any games or the natty.
They can't vacate games.
Like I said, right? And I told this to Mello yesterday. I said, listen, I said, not you, not your whole fan base, but I said the OSU fan base is the weirdos of the weirdos. Because I'm going to give you 2 examples real quick. One, when Ryan Day lost to Michigan for his 4th straight time, what happened to him and his family?
They got death threats.
Correct.
They were threatening children.
His kids didn't need no police to take him to school. Yeah, Michigan fans were outraged, but we didn't take it to that extent. Now, don't get me wrong. Michigan has weirdo fans too. I'm not sitting here saying we have a perfect fan base. No, we don't. Absolutely not. We have weirdos. But the OSU fans are different. Then let's talk about Brohio. First of all, you got a name like that, you the king of the weirdos. You the national champ of the weirdos. This dude, when you say if living in your mother's basement was a person, it's Brohio. This dude's like, I don't wanna show my identity because then I'm gonna get death threats. Bro, you're not an investigator. That's not your job. He's on his computer and this with his team, and bro, they investigating, they doing everything they can to help the NCAA. He's going through Connor Stallion's Venmo or whatever. Like, bro, really? Michigan fans ain't going that hard, but that's OSU fans for you. And this is when they say they a cult. It's a fact, bro. I'm sorry. It's the truth. Again, I'm not saying we have a perfect fan base because we don't. We have a lot of weirdos. But OSU, always the weirdo fan base, #1 in the nation. Every year they rank #1, the weirdo fan base.
Hey, yo, shout out to Mar. Bro, Ohio sounds like an ED drug. Shout out to that, man. That's a good one. Look, man, the national champ of the weirdos is a good one as well. Shout out to you for that, sir. I see you. Here's what I have to say about it. They have. I saw my guy Ronald sent had a chat. He said that they're talking about us more than their natty. Here's the thing, and this is a nod to my guy
because they know ours is more legit than theirs.
Not only is it more legit, bro, but they have to talk about us because that natty is kind of flimsy, bro. We beat them. The 8-5 Michigan team with this much offense went to Columbus and had more points than them at the end of the game. That's insane. All right. By the way, people like my brother Mello. Shout out to Mello. That's my guy. People like Mello when we were on his show looked us into the windows of our soul and said some score like 63-3 because we got a good kicker. And shout out to Zavada, by the way, who is the real MVP. But we went into Columbus, which is amazing. Went into Columbus with a walk-on quarterback, with no offense to speak of, with wide receivers, nobody outside of the Michigan fan base can name. Right, the Lollipop Guild, as you would call it, and walked out of there with the W. Planted another flag on the block.
Don't forget that we had a Pee Wee football offensive coordinator.
That's a fact. Oh my God! Don't even get me started on that guy.
Oh no, wait. We need the video.
we do need the video. You're right. Every time his name is brought up, this is exactly how I feel. Number one,
I take that back. I'm really pissed off.
But you guys really know
that one.
I know.
It's on the deck.
Yeah, I can't even find it because my hand is shaking.
He accidentally deleted it.
That's how much I dislike that guy.
I also find it funny that how all the OSU, they know all the news, right? They know exactly what's gonna happen. No, they know everything, but they don't know nothing, right? So, like I've mentioned,
it's a 98% championship. Hey, yo, by the way, they gotta cut us in,
bro. It's a watered down. It's a watered down that
we need the base of that trophy. They can't even put that joint on the base to have it stand up. That's our base, number one. They got to lean it up against, the glass in their trophy case because that base belongs to Michigan.
This is what I brought up that first show we did after they won. They want so badly to get validated from us because they know that it's not a fully legitimate championship. They're the last. They want so badly with the allegations thing. They want to cling to it so badly because for the last 3 years, their entire world has been consumed by cheeseburgers and hammers, and they just don't they don't want to accept the fact that for the rest of forever, every time that this year's championship is brought up with their best team or most talented team of all time, and every time for the rest of history that this national championship of 2024 team is brought up, the next thing someone's going to say is Michigan, because we beat them 13-10 in their home stadium during that season. It will always be brought up with this national championship, and they can't stomach that. They won't admit it, but that's what irks them so badly and why they want the validation so badly, specifically from the Michigan fan base.
Gary, we put the link in the chat, bro. Bring it up. I mean, come on up if you want. My guy Wes Quad is here. What's good?
Yeah, Happy Hogan is in the building. X Factor, New Mutant.
Listen, if nobody else got that, I got it. If nobody else got that, I got it. The Sami Zayn of Happy Hogan.
I know he locked in like me.
By the way, this was not a call-in show. We're gonna allow this. Mar was good.
Yeah. We're gonna let y'all eat a little.
No, we're gonna call this the Marmar Minute. One on every show. You got that 1 minute of Marmar just uncut.
Hey, listen. Hey, listen. No, I told you to do that because Gary wanted to cook. So let Gary come on up. Come on,
He's
Gary.
not coming up. It's a Buckeye JJ. You're all.
Come on down to the 3M.
Yeah,
come on down to the 3M show.
Because again, the facts are the facts, bro. The facts are the facts. We had no offense. We went into Columbus. We snatched your soul right from out of your chest, through your shoulder pads, all of that. Give us your heart. And then we planted another flag on the Blocko because that's our stadium. It's definitely the Michigan Invitational now in Columbus.
Ann Arbor South.
Ann Arbor South. That's what I'm talking about. The little big house down there. So
yes, sir.
Shout out to all of them.
Shout to Mama. He sends me 42 YouTube videos of every Michigan thing. I'll be at work again. I can't watch.
You too? You too?
You got listen.
Hey, that's the man. Mama the man.
Mama's the MVP. Bro.
Oh, he sends me every yo again. And here's the thing, and thank you, Marmar, by the way, because I've jumped in a couple of them. There are some that I'm just like, yo, I'm just not. This is
I feel it.
Thing. But I definitely
day at work.
Yeah, and I'll be at my desk watching these joints, and I can't really like interact too much. I
just put my headphones in and listen to it.
Yeah, I have my earbuds in all the time at work. I know Kinetic and Maniac, when I be responding to our group chat, I'll be like whispering in that joint. But it's all good. But yeah, man, it's a sad day. It's a sad year in Columbus, really. They had their all-time greatest team, as they been saying. And that all-time greatest team lost to an 8-5 Michigan team with no offense to speak of. Gary is here. We're just waiting to be able to bring him up, get your camera or whatever right, so we can talk to you, or so you can talk. We're gonna let you.
Y'all have seen the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
All right, so Marmar's Bonesaw, he's about to get his 3 minutes in the cage with Gary right here on camera.
Nah, I'm Spider-Man. Nope. Yeah, you ain't gonna shortchange me, big dog.
What are you talking about? Bonesaw. That was Macho Man Randy Savage. Come on now.
I know who it was. I've seen the movie about 100 times.
That man said the Nacho Man.
Hey,
I'm Spider-Man.
I just want to ask y'all this because it still blows my mind.
Harry, you having some technical difficulties, man.
I've known about this for like a decade now, but it still blows my mind every time I think about it. Did you know that Macho Man Randy Savage released a rap album?
I do know
that. Unfortunately,
back in the day.
Again, West Quad. Unfortunately,
with a Hulk Hogan diss track.
Yes.
Yes.
He had a press run, bro. He had a press run. Gorgeous George was back there.
It still doesn't fully compute in my head.
Understand. It shouldn't compute. It should never compute because that's
like at all. Macho Man. Okay, if he's gonna come out with music, I did not expect him to go rap.
Right. Right. Macho Man does rock, obviously, absolutely. He's got the voice for it and everything.
And the worst part about it,
yo, Dexter Green.
The worst part about it, though, it wasn't even that bad. Like it wasn't.
It really wasn't.
Nah, that shit was trash, bro.
It wasn't great. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad.
I'm gonna be real with you.
Hey,
that was ass.
Listen.
Bro.
Hold on. I worked in the music industry for almost a decade. I got handed so many mixtapes over those years. I can promise you that album that Macho Man did is miles ahead.
And no, it wasn't
90% of the mixtapes that I was handed.
Right.
Okay? That was
like,
insane.
Macho Man, it wasn't bad. I just don't want to hear.
Said it was epic.
I don't want to hear it no more. I definitely listened to a couple tracks and I was like, you know what, the beat's all right. But man, I don't want to hear Randy Popo on the mic ever.
He put the man's government out here. That's a fact. Hey, shout out to Macho Man, who is probably my second favorite wrestler of all time.
But yeah,
definitely
that's
my
not.
top 10.
He was better than Hogan. I'll die on this. So he
Oh,
was
he's
better than
definitely
Hogan.
a better wrestler than Hogan.
Hulk Hogan is
And my favorite
propaganda,
wrestler was the Undertaker.
Undertaker is a
if I'm
goat.
being honest, my favorites growing up were Shawn Michaels and the Legion of Doom Road Warriors.
Oh yeah.
Listen,
Like,
And then my tag
Michaels
team
is
was the
before me.
Bushwhackers.
yeah,
you remember,
absolutely.
listen,
But
My
remember
tag team was the Bushwhackers.
Gary can't get it together,
Right.
man. Gary, we
Trivia.
can't bring you up.
Yeah.
trivia
Something's
for
going
you.
on with your thing. Get it together because we definitely want to hear what you got to say.
Who was
Gary, come up here, man. What is you doing? Talking about scary Gary. I bet.
And yeah, Gary
Who
got
was
stage
Shawn?
fright, boy.
Who was Shawn Michaels down with first before he went solo?
Marty Jannetty.
Marty Jannetty.
yeah, Marty Jannetty,
What's
the
the name of
Rockers.
them?
Yeah, the Rockers.
Woo!
Yep.
There you guys are sharp.
Originally it was the Midnight Rockers, but when they went from AWA to WWF, they took the Midnight part
They
off.
used to be the
That's why I said Stone Cold. Stone Cold
Demolition.
is one of the goats.
The British
Oh,
Bulldogs.
for sure.
Yep,
Remember
and Dynamite Kid.
Oh, yeah, the British Bulldog, man. He
Davey
was
Boy
dope,
Smith
too.
and Dynamite Kid. Yep.
Yeah, Davey Boy
Scott
Smith.
And Razor
Steiner,
The Steiner
Ramon.
brothers.
No, but that's
Hey,
and Razor
before
Ramon.
The Steiner math.
Yeah, the
Steiner math
Steiner.
is legendary.
You're talking about Coco
Hawk-
Beware,
Coco Beware. Yeah.
Ricky
Hacksaw
the
Jim
Dragon
Duggan.
Steamboat,
M3, you gotta play the video for one of my favorite wrestlers
Jake
of all
the
time,
Snake.
please.
Hold on,
You already know
hold
what
on.
time it is.
Yeah,
Hold on real quick, hold on
Hacksaw
real quick.
Jim Duggan.
Hold on real quick. Tave said, man, y'all see Kangaroo Black put out another Michigan video. That boy obsessed with us. Listen, I got this much respect for Kangaroo Black. And
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't even watched him. I don't even know who he is.
I'm gonna tell you why.
I've heard of him.
Hey, Kinetic, save your eyes because it's atrocious.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you why I got that much respect for him. Because after Michigan beat Alabama for the second time in the ReliaQuest Bowl this year, he was all praises for Michigan, right? Like, oh, y'all beat Michigan. Y'all beat. Here we go. This is my Kangaroo Black impression. Get ready. All right, here we go. Michigan came and beat my Alabama Crimson Tide once again, twice in the same calendar year. Redfish, bluefish. Give a dog that's my Kangaroo Black impression. But that's why I have no respect, because he was giving out all the praise after that game, and then a week later, not even a week, a full week later, he is now on the riding the other state after Michigan beat them, and he's talking about cheating and all of these things. Like, bro, take that L. We spanked Alabama ass. We spanked the other state.
See, here's what happens.
On an
Here's what
annual
happens.
basis.
When Michigan beats you multiple times in a row, especially if it's in the same year in two different bowl games, they start acting like Michigan State. And we're gonna call that Lil Bro syndrome.
That's a fact.
And like Colson Loveland said, Lil Bro gonna do Lil Bro things. So
Hey, listen, I want to say publicly, do not fall for the bait, bro. A lot of these people are just, bro. It's just like rivals. When they drop Michigan players, they doing it for the clicks, bro. Don't even give them the air. Let that fire die down. Let it, you know what I'm saying? Don't even let that fire breathe.
Martin had a dream.
Yeah.
Well, now you making me want to
bro.
watch.
Careful though. He might be Nick Saban Jr.'s boy though. We got to be careful.
I know, and shout out to Nick Saban Jr. That is.
No,
you're muted. Hey, Madman, you muted your mic, bro.
Now,
something came unplugged. There goes.
Shout out to Nick Saban Jr. That is my guy, and I do believe they have a relationship. He and Kangaroo Black, but Kangaroo Black is I have no respect for him. Shout out to Keegan. What's good?
Yeah, what's up, guys?
My guys.
What up, though, Keegan?
Y'all see Menace's channel today?
No,
I don't watch that. I'll never watch him.
I don't normally watch it, but
Menace.
Yeah, Menace to Sports. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I think Mar might have sent me that link too, but I'll never. He's one of the people on my never watch list.
Yeah, I normally don't, but I wanted to hear a perspective from another fan base, and like it's as polarizing as like like the news, CNN versus Fox. You know, it's very, and you can tell like
Yeah.
where people are getting their information because they're still on the propaganda and the vacate the wins and in the fan base. I'm not talking about specifically the hosts, although
Right.
they were halfway there and they were pushing the narrative, but they didn't fully buy in. But it was it's like fear mongering,
Right.
and so that's like it's promoting the entertainment, and then the fans like eat it all in, and they think that it's really going to be vacated wins and all this stuff, and it's not true. Like just as in politics, and I'm not trying to get into that, but it's probably somewhere in the middle of what's actually going to happen.
Right.
So I just thought I wanted to see another perspective, and it's like totally polarizing, like the difference in points of view.
So
Yeah.
here's the thing with Menace. Like, okay, overall, they're not a bad show, and Zach Smith and Chris Drew are actually not. They're not actually like that. Okay, if you were to talk to either one of them, like one-on-one off camera, they're actually pretty chill. But
Yeah, I'm sure.
on the show, they play into the hysteria in their fan base. I mean, because it gets them views and it gets them super chats and it gets them all that stuff. So they play the game. They're not.
Right.
They're not really like that though.
Right. Yeah, that's what I think too. But the fan base buys in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna withhold my thoughts on I forget the guys you just said his name.
Zach Smith and Chris Drew.
Zach Smith. I'm gonna withhold my thoughts on Zach Smith. Chris Drew, I agree with you, is a pretty chill guy off of air. But Zach Smith can kick rocks, bro. I got
Listen,
zero respect
there's
for
a
him.
bunch of stuff that he's been involved in that I'm not with, and I would not support, and I'm not trying to give a pass on.
Absolutely.
But I could say that about half the people that I call friend too.
And I can't, because I've had to disassociate with friends for some of the things that, and I'm not even gonna get into that because that's a political thing too.
Yeah,
But
you're good. I'm just saying, like if you look past those things, and like if you were just talking to him one-on-one, he's not a horrible guy.
Right.
Like to
I'll take your word for it.
to have a
I'll never
conversation.
watch that show.
But like I said, I'm not trying to give them praise. I'm just saying they're not.
Right.
What Keegan was saying, they don't actually believe that stuff.
No doubt.
Well, it's kind of like Feinbaum. You know, he's an entertainer. And then he's an entertainer. That's what he does. He stirs the pot.
Right.
And I mean, maybe he doesn't believe half the stuff he's saying, but like what Mays was saying, it's what gets him views. So, but the problem with that is that there's so many people who are influenced by like them laying out what they think, and it's just it's really polarizing. And I don't know if it's good. It can't be a good thing.
I mean, it's good and it's good in the short term for what they do, but if you're gonna watch shows like that, you have to be able to sort of read between the lines. Like you have to be able to see past the BS, and once you do that, it's actually not a bad show. It's just
Right.
You just have to be
and
able
that's
to
what
do
I
that.
was seeing.
And a
You
lot
know,
of
I
the
wanted a different
Ohio State fan base, they don't even try to see through the propaganda. They just buy into it. They
I said that earlier that they don't read between the lines.
Yeah.
Because
Again,
it
I'm
makes
not trying
that
to.
0-4 easier to grasp. It's easier to swallow if they were cheating, but if you really just got your ass beat 4 times in a row, then that's hard to swallow.
Say it again for the people in the back. That's a fact. I'm not gonna cast any more aspersions on them. Like I get that they probably have a great show. Their numbers, speak to it. The people who try to get me to watch their show speak to it. So, I wish them all the best. Of course, like everybody deserves a second chance, and I'm with all of that, but I can't be a part of it. I can't support that. Anyway, man, look, we spoke a little bit. Gary seems to not be able to get up here, or he's
he's
afraid.
running from it. Yeah, he's running.
Either way,
You can't take the heat. That's tough.
that's a fact. If the roles were reversed, y'all would play into it too. It's part of
Here's the
rivalry.
thing, though. Like the roles have been reversed, and there's a difference between we'll sit up here and joke about it, and when friends of ours that come on that are Buckeye fans, like Garrison or whatever, we'll throw it back and forth, messing with each other. But we're not sitting here saying it like we actually believe a lot of the BS and trying to play our fan base and our viewers with all of that to try to get them to send us super chats and get them riled up. Like, we're not using it like that.
Yeah.
Just like Mark Rogers, man. I do not. Hey, I told you, Wes, he had me heated the other night. Like, he affected listen, Maze, he affected my day the next day, bro. I couldn't get over that. Like,
yeah,
he
can't
was
let nobody.
No, I'm talking about Mark. He was like, well, technically, Michigan, the coaches are not 4-0 against Ohio State. It's just Harbaugh is 2-0 and Jerome Moore is 2-0. No, Michigan is 4-0, period. Like, what? I was like, man, Mark Rogers is a real nutcase.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, man. We ain't gonna let that like get us out of character here. Here's the thing. Sunday, each of you, everybody here, West Quad, Keegan, Marmar, I expect to see y'all. We got Michigan freshman wide receiver Jamar Browder gonna join the show. We talking everything. Get all your questions ready. It's gonna be great. Shout out to Lich Max. He says, speaking of which, if you hate OSU, send a super chat. I kid, but to like the video for sure and become a member. Thank you, Lich Max. Definitely like the video. Definitely become a member. We appreciate everybody. And everything
Is
that you do.
Browder on campus already?
I believe so. Yeah, he was one of the early enrollees. He was at the practices, all of that. Yep.
Yeah, we can ask him a little bit of questions.
Absolutely. We got some questions in the mailbag too, so we will get to those.
And if you haven't, go watch his film. Jamar Browder is a monster.
Absolutely. Every bit of 6'4", high points the ball very well. We're gonna talk to him about all of that.
Like everything that people have been complaining about that we needed in our wide receiver room, Jamar Browder is that.
He's my favorite.
And that's what I was going to touch on with the portal. Is that why they're not attacking the wide receivers in the portal because they see what they have?
Yeah, we got somebody that can mentor him, and Donovan McCulley.
The thing with what they're doing in the portal, specifically with the receivers, is the combination of a couple different things. They're not. Michigan's whole approach is to build through high school recruiting and supplement through the portal. They're not going to go out and just get the big names because they're big names. They're going to look for the guys they think fit their system the best and fit their wide receiver room the best, and they're going to go after them. And the problem is that they identify those guys, and then they reach out to them, they start the process, and then unfortunately what happened this year is we had some admissions issues with multiple guys. Now that shouldn't happen every year, but it did happen this year. They've still got guys that they're looking at. There's still a chance that after the spring semester that Skylar Bell enters the portal again. That's an option. And I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not trying to speak for the guy, but it's been something that's been up in the air and talked about since before he recommitted to UConn for this semester. They're just taking they're also taking the approach that they want to, because
I think he signed as far as Skylar Bell though, I think he signed new NIL with
he did, but it's not binding. He can get out of it. But the thing is though that like we got, what's his name? Sean McGee, is that his name?
Yeah.
He came from the NFL. And he said this in his interview that he did a while back with, I think, with Sam Webb or somebody. The NFL, when you're negotiating with the players, you have, a ton of data that you can point to and say this is what you're worth. The market has not been set in college, and you've got a lot of teams that are like overpaying like crazy for these guys based on potential and name alone, and hype. And Michigan doesn't want to do that. They want to set the market properly. And so they're not going to spend above what they believe that the person's worth, regardless of what that player thinks that he's worth, or another school is willing to pay.
Yeah,
So.
you can't do that because it's not sustainable in the long run. And Michigan's
Right.
playing the long term, the business game, and that's going to benefit them a couple years down the road. But let me say this about Jamar Browder. I know you're trying to go, Mays, and I'll just bounce out. Jamar Browder's like what, 6'4" and a half?
6'4" and a half, maybe 6'5". Yeah, you're right. Big guy.
He's got hands. He catches everything. He runs good, clean routes. What he needs to work on is the explosion after he settles himself and he gets ready to run up field. And that's really the only thing I see that he's missing, because you don't have to have elite speed to be a good route runner and to be big and have great hands, and he catches everything. And
that's a fact.
With Michigan, that's exactly what we want, because we run the ball and we need those third and longs, and that's a guy who can catch the ball. And so that's why I'm so big on him, is because he's the exact fit for what we need at Michigan if we're going to run something similar to what we've been running under Harbaugh. So I think somebody mentioned earlier, but I think he has potential to start this year. I don't know if it's going to be game one, but he has the frame, he has the hands, and all we need is, a third and 7, third and 12, and he's going to be the guy. and he can block on the bubble screens. He can block on the run plays.
That part is invaluable. Keegan, I'm sorry I cut you off, but this is huge for Michigan. Let me repeat this. Huge pause for Michigan. We were out there doing bubble screens, as Keegan alluded to, right? And his ability to block for them. We were doing bubble screens to small people with small people blocking.
CJ Charleston was our best bubble screen blocker.
Absolutely. You need a guy like McCulley. You need a guy like Browder that can actually move something. And that's the difference. If you throw a screen to Samaj Morgan with Fred Moore and Tyler Morris blocking from it, you're going to get what you got, right? But if you throw that same screen to Samaj with Browder and a guy like McCulley blocking, you probably are going to yield a different result. So that's a great point.
Right. That's why Samaj didn't have as good of a year this year.
I agree.
And
so
just
I'm
real quick to add on,
I'm excited for Jamar Browder. I'm glad y'all are having him on. That's all I got.
Yes, sir.
I just want to add on to what I said a moment ago.
I appreciate you, man. You're always welcome up here. It's always a pleasure to have you on.
All right, appreciate y'all. Thanks for doing the interviews. That's awesome, man.
Yes, sir. We're gonna try to keep them coming, man. Pause.
So just to add on real quick with what I said a moment ago. The approach that they're taking is how we avoid being one of the schools that ends up with the deficient. It's how we end up being avoiding being one of the schools that makes promises to kids as far as NIL goes, and then we can't back it up, we can't follow through, and we end up with a Sluka situation like they had out at UNLV. That's going to pay dividends in the fact that a lot of these schools, a lot of these coaching staffs, a lot of these collectives are going to be telling these kids, oh, well, we can do this for you, we can do that for you, we can do this for you. But the kids are not going to always be able to trust that. Are they really going to be able to do that? With Michigan, they're going to be able to. They're going to have that. They're going to be able to point and say, no, not one person has had a bad experience with being lied to or not been given their value or been treated fairly, and Michigan following through on what they promise. So that's the benefit of not overpaying, not overreaching, and overpromising to these kids. It's going to pay off in the long run. It's going to build that trust that does matter to a lot of these kids.
No doubt. Really quick, before we get out of here, I got to acknowledge my guy, Kiyoki Kaipana, who's in the chat. Shout out to Kiyoki. It's always great to see you here, my brother. We got to get you up here again real soon. We'll talk about that. I'll text you about it. Let's see what we can do. Also, everybody that's in the chat, my guy Moose is here. DG, Troy, DK was here for a minute. Shout out to DK. If I'm missing you, I promise it's not on purpose. My guy Let's Toast was here, who is a legend. Shout out to Toast. Marmar, or I'm sorry, my bad, Marmarski. My
Thank
dude,
you, bro. Appreciate it, man. It's just
no doubt.
hey. My alter ego, you know what I'm saying, is Marmar.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying?
Marmar. Did you see that on Twitter? There's like a dark Marmar or like an evil Marmar account.
Yo, hold on.
I swear to God.
He said a dark Marmar.
No, that's what I think. It's literally like that's literally in its name. I think.
So just Marmar.
Because I thought it was. I was like, did he make another page? But it's not. It's a completely different one.
Is that you?
No.
Yeah. So somebody out here made a like evil Marmar Twitter account.
Hey, did you see my picture?
At me in there. We about to go in on.
Yeah, we got to figure this out.
Yeah, we got to figure it out.
I already know who
it ain't me. It ain't Kevin
West
Durant.
I know who it is.
Bro, I got an educated guess. You know, somebody like to make new accounts. He probably in here now.
Oh man.
It was kinetic.
Kinetically correct?
No, because I saw. I was like, what is? That's so weird because it was like the most off the wall things that they were saying. I was like, is that Marmar? I was like, that can't be Marmar.
And they created a war. It's Wario.
War.
Nah.
Warwarski.
Well, I like that one too. I'm about to.
And JOJ said it's me.
That's wild.
Just went completely off the rails. My bad.
Marmar, remember that. If they made an alternate account for you, that's a fan, bro.
Yep.
Hey, facts. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm out here doing them.
I want to see E Squad. You know what I mean?
E Squad. No doubt, man. Hey,
I'm about to do all. Hey, Warwarski, I'm about to have that up there tomorrow.
Get it all, bro. Pause.
Facts,
Anyway, I know Johnny's hating that.
Hey, Maze, you ain't got to say that. We know our masculinity, like Johnny said earlier.
Yeah, I know, bro. Yeah. And I was agreeing, like I said earlier with Johnny, I agree 1000%. It's just ingrained in the fabric of my being to say pause now. I've been on the East Coast too long. That's the problem.
Force a habit.
Yeah, man, you gotta come back up north.
Exactly. Anyway, man. We got love for everybody in the chat, man. I appreciate everybody. JOJ.
Appreciate everybody, man.
We're gonna get out of here. Until next time, you know the slogan. Stay angry, my